Felicia, full-time employed versus self-employed versus fractional work. I think the overwhelming mindset is that, people do want to be fully employed, full-time employed. I never really considered up until maybe 6, 7 months ago to go work for myself. I always wanted to have a full-time job. And I still don't think that it's anything wrong with a full-time job. I'm looking at employment as thinking like it would be an investment, right? The way we make an investment. I guess one of the most common pieces of advice when you make an investment is that don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Why is it that we go for full-time employment as our main goal? Most people do, right? The overwhelming
Right,
majority. And they could go from like 100% to zero, right? When you get laid off. I got laid off twice last year, for example.
right,
That's just personal experience. And you go from making 100% income to $0. Or when you get laid off, something happens, you lose your job, versus doing fractional work and doing a little bit here, a little bit there, a decent amount that allows you to make a living. Now, if you have, 3, 4 fractional engagements and you lose one out of four, it's only 25% of your income. Let's say if you're
right.
making about the same money on each versus you lost your job and you're down to zero. What do you think that makes people tend to strive for full-time employment outside the benefits, right? Because then when you work for yourself, really, you either have to have someone, a spouse, to cover for your benefits, or you have to pay yourself. Besides that, what other reasons would be? Is it culture? What is it? Why do we have this mindset that most of us are chasing the full-time opportunity versus fractional employment?
I think it kind of depends on where you are in life. So there could be a circumstance where you've been laid off a couple of times. So that was your circumstance. You're also a point in life where, as far as I know anyway, you don't have small children at home. You're not trying to just be focused on like more on raising your family and then just having a good job where you have a good income. It really just depends on where you are. Because you were talking about with a fractional, how you would have, if you lost one, you only lost 25% of your income if you have four of them. I think that people need to look at multiple streams of income in a lot of different ways. I don't see how anyone can make it these days without multiple streams of income, unless that stream just happens to be a huge company that they own. There are lots of ways that they can be making income. And remember, I said, make sure you don't quit your day job until you at least have, a plan and finances and everything. If you're building some types of streams of income while you're an employee, then if you want to leave, you can focus on the work as you're building whatever it is that you're looking to build and not have to potentially make some bad decisions based on what your needs are. I was a single self-employed mom with no child support, and I made a couple of those decisions along the way. At the time, it was very difficult to do multiple streams of income. We didn't have social media. There are a lot of things that didn't exist then. It was actually looked down upon, to be that way. You needed to be very just focused. But having said all of that, I do believe that whatever you decide to do, there are just different people who have different needs. Even when I look at when I'm working with companies about their development programs, their training and development programs for people, I have them look at it in three groups of people. So there's like your high achievers, who are usually your top 10%, and they want promotions and they want more money and they want all of this. And they're at a point in their life where they want to fly. And so you really want to develop them and you want to, help them along. Then there's a huge group that really is where they want to be and they want to do a good job. And they may still want some training and development because they know at some point, maybe it's somebody who's focused on that because of, family needs or something along those lines. And some people just aren't really made for self-employment. That's just not the way that they think and the way that they want to behave. So it really just depends on the individual. Being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart, as you know, even though I encourage everyone who wants to be one to be one. I don't necessarily think it's the right path for everybody. And even the entrepreneurs need people to work for them. When I first started doing it for probably the first 10 years, I was flying high and I thought everybody should be an entrepreneur. But as time went on, I realized it's just not for everybody. Having said that, though, I do want to add one thing that if you've decided to be an employee, you're investing in that company as much as they're investing in you, if not more. And I do believe that we all deserve to be treated well and that we all deserve that psychological safety and everything else. So I would also encourage people, that's an investment too. And if you're going to invest you're not just investing your time, a lot of people are investing their lives, then you want to do it for a company that is not only treating you well, but they're growing because this group of people has come together with a similar mindset to make things happen.